We've got 10 updated Reddit stories for you guys today, starting it off with am I the a-hole for cutting all contact with my family because of a prank? And of course, this is best of Redditor updates. This one does have an update, but stick around for 9 more absolutely mind-blowing updated stories, such as, am I overreacting because my boyfriend prayed to Trump at my family's dinner? And ending it off with, he's up to something. I'm really hoping, based off of the little that I read of this, it's going to be a very, very wholesome story. I could be very wrong. I like to be just as surprised with these stories as you guys are when I read them live, but we shall see. All right, chat. You know the drill. Let's lock in here. Am I the a-hole for cutting all contact with my family because of a prank? The original post was posted on December 18th, 2024. So I have posted a story on here before and I got some pretty good advice, so please help. Here's what happened. I, 27 female, have always had a complicated relationship with my family. They've always been the type of people who think any joke is fine as long as someone laughs, no matter who gets hurt. Over the years, I've tried to brush it off and not let it bother me too much, but this time they crossed a line I can't ignore. Recently, I achieved something big in my life. I bought my first home after saving for years. It's something I worked incredibly hard for, sacrificing vacations, nights out, and basically anything extra to make it happen. I was beyond proud of myself and excited to finally have a place to call my own. Naturally, I wanted to share this milestone with my family, even though our relationship has always been rocky. A few weeks ago, we had a family dinner to celebrate my new home. Everything seemed fine at first. They congratulated me, asked me about the house, and seemed genuinely happy for me. But halfway through the night, my brother, 30 male, and sister, 25 female, handed me an envelope. They said it was a surprise to help me with my house. I opened it, and inside was what looked like a legal notice stating that my house purchase had been canceled because of a clerical error, and that it was now being sold to someone else. It even had an official looking letterhead, my name, and details about the house. I was in complete shock. Everyone around the table started laughing and my brothers yelled, "Gotcha!" Turns out they had faked the letter and thought it would be hilarious to see my reaction. I burst into tears, which only made them laugh harder. Okay, damn, that is... Yo, when someone cries, you don't laugh harder. They even recorded the whole thing on their phones to post on social media. Uh-oh, double whammy. That's fucked up. When I finally managed to speak, I told them how cruel this was. Buying this house was the biggest thing I'd ever done, and they turned it into a joke at my expense. Their response? "You're so sensitive. It was just a prank. Lighten up." I left the dinner early, completely heartbroken. A few days later, I decided I'd had enough. This wasn't the first time they pulled a prank like this. Over the years, they've humiliated me countless times, once ruining a job interview outfit by accidentally spilling coffee on it. Another time pretending to lose my dog just to see me panic. I cut off all contact. I didn't make a scene. I just stopped responding to messages, blocked them on social media, and declined invites to family events. Now I'm getting guilt-tripping messages from extended family saying I'm being selfish and tearing the family apart. My mom even left me a voicemail crying about how much she misses me and begging me to come back. But I can't bring myself to forgive them. This prank felt like the final straw, and I don't see how I can trust them again. Am I the a-hole for cutting off my family over this prank? Okay, here's the thing, chat. Here is what I will say. The prank that was the final straw, kind of mid in my opinion. The presentation of that, there's no way you actually believed them. That being said, these pranks are fucking crazy. These are the pranks that are worth going no contact with people. Ruining a job interview outfit by accidentally spilling coffee on it. You're literally fucking with their career. Pretending to lose their dog. Bro, if my family pretended to lose my cat, I would fucking rain hellfire upon them. That is crazy. This prank that just happened shouldn't have happened because you should have cut them off after those pranks. Like I said, guys, I was reading that prank and I was like, all right. Me personally, if I saw that, I'd be like, this is a pretty stupid prank, guys. I get that it's kind of diminishing her accomplishments for sure, but we've seen some terrible pranks on this channel. Not too bad, in my opinion. But in terms of, are you the a-hole for cutting off your family? No. I think you should have cut them off a long time ago. You should have given them the snip snip years ago. The fact that they laughed at OP crying, that's not family. They're your tormentors. That's a good point, Matt. So it's not even the pranks at this point. It's how the family goes about treating you, which that was was probably the most disrespectful part. Prank is just a more presentable way of saying terrorize. That is a hot take. I actually kind of agree with that. Like, listen, I've pranked my boys. I think a prank here or there is kind of fun. That being said, there's a time and a place. Being a good prankster, part of that is just being good at like reading the room. And these people clearly did not read the room, bro. Pranks are not for everyone. That's the other part to it too, is like, you don't prank someone who hates to get pranked. Is OP Meg Griffin? Dude, this is literally Meg Griffin from Family Guy. You're totally fucking right, Sammy. We have one top comment from Best Confidence 1560. You're rightfully upset because it wasn't a prank. It was bullying. The "it was a joke" BS is something every bully does to justify humiliating people. They thought it would be fun to upset you on your big night and then take videos of it and post it on social media. Oh yeah, I didn't even address that. Posting something like that where someone has a bad reaction is honestly just a bad look for you, bro. Why would you post on social media the fact that you're just like an awful person and your mother is crying that she misses you? No, she had an opportunity there to rip them a new one about their behavior and about treating you with kindness and respect, and she thought it would be better to go along with the prank. You deserve better than this. I'm glad you finally decided to call an end to their bullying. Don't let them or any extended family members pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do. I'm sorry that they couldn't just be happy for you and your achievement. Congratulations on your new home. OOP updated the post December 22nd, 2024, 4 days after the original post. I wanted to provide an update because things have escalated in ways I never expected. After I went no contact with my family, I thought they'd eventually accept my decision and move on. But that hasn't been the case. For the past few weeks, my brother and sister have been trying to get me to see the funny side of their prank. They've shown up at my house uninvited multiple times, banging on the door and demanding to talk to me. At first, I ignored them, but it became clear they weren't going to stop. One evening, I caught them standing outside my house with their phones out, recording themselves while yelling things like, "She can't take a joke," and "Let's see how long she can hide." It felt more like harassment than an attempt to reconcile. That's cause that is harassment. I would just call the cops on them, bro. They're on your property. You went no contact with them. Also, if you want some sort of restraining order, you should have police documentation of them literally harassing you. The final straw came when I discovered my car had been egged overnight, and my security camera caught my brother and sister doing it. I confronted them through text, telling them they'd crossed the line and needed to stop. Their response? "You're so dramatic, we're going to laugh about this one day." Bro, doesn't egging a car peel the paint off your car? That's not a fucking prank. That is harassment. That is property damage. File fucking charges, bro. At this point, I realized I couldn't handle this on my own. I went to the police and filed a report for harassment. They took my statement, reviewed the footage from my security camera, and agreed that this behavior was unacceptable. My siblings were contacted and warned to stay away from me. Their reactions? More mocking messages, calling me a snitch and accusing me of tearing the family apart. Some of my extended family members are siding with them, saying I should have just talked it out instead of involving the police. But others, especially those who have seen the footage, are horrified and fully support my decision. Bro, post that shit on social media. If they want to post their dumb shit videos that already probably make them look bad, like literally respond with being like, "Oh, hey, here's my siblings egging my car thinking this is a prank. Oh, hey, and while you're at it, here are their ats." Go tell them how unbearably wrong they are. Expose the shit out of them, bro. They deserve that shit. I feel a mix of relief and sadness. It's hard to accept that my own family could treat me this way, but I also feel safer knowing I've taken steps to protect myself. I'm focusing on building a new life in my home and surrounding myself with people who respect and support me. To anyone out there struggling with toxic family dynamics, you're not alone, and it's okay to set boundaries to protect your peace. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, chat. There probably could be some new posts. Should we check for an update on that? Okay, there's no update on that currently. Is it bad, chat, that I low-key want them to have an update where they're like, yeah, I like pressed charges, sued them for harassment? Like, is it bad I want the nuclear option, chat? Oh, I never said it, but not the a-hole. That's a pretty easy not the a-hole. Am I overreacting because my boyfriend prayed to Trump at my family's dinner? We have a 20 female OP and a 21 male boyfriend. Original post December 27th, 2024. This is my first time he's ever done this, so I don't get why it had to be done in front of me or my family. We disagree on some things politically, but he never liked Trump either. Am I overreacting in our texts or reevaluating our relationship? All right, guys, bear with me. This is a text transcription, so I'm going to be jumping between who's texting what, and I'll try to do that as best as possible. OP, hey, are you home yet? Can we talk? Boyfriend, what? OP, I'm still kind of off-put by the prayer. Was that a joke? Deadass couldn't tell. Boyfriend, what's funny about it? OP, it was a prayer to fucking Donald Trump. Like, why? Boyfriend, what do you mean? OP, my parents were confused as hell. Isn't that like false idol or blasphemous, if anything? Boyfriend, if he's ordained by God himself, I don't see the issue. Fucking what? Like, what? Hold on. God doesn't ordain people. You're ordained by like a pope, right? Typically need to contact a religious institution either online or through a physical church and complete their ordination. So wait, hold on. You can get ordained to perform marriages. So is he saying that anybody who gets ordained to do a wedding ceremony can be prayed to? Dragon Paladin, I feel my IQ lowering. If he's ordained by God himself, I don't see the issue. He literally saved him. OP, but why are we doing this now? Boyfriend, you brought this up. OP, no, I mean, why did we start the prayer thing literally today? Boyfriend, I didn't. I thought we talked about this. OP, what? We haven't talked about this at all. You had to have known I'd think it's weird. Boyfriend, I said he was saved by God during the assassination, that it was proof. He was chosen, so I speak to him. I don't see what the issue with this is. Guys, I genuinely can't decide if the boyfriend is gaslighting OP or he's fucking brain dead. What is he saying right now? Like, regardless of what you believe politically, this is fucking nuts. You don't pray to a political figure. Isn't that against the religion? According to most Christian interpretations, the Bible does not support praying to anyone other than God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, meaning praying to anyone else, including saints, would not be considered appropriate based on scripture. There is no adequate excuse if he's a Christian to be praying to Trump or any political figure. Let's just leave it at that. I don't see what the issue with this is. OP, you know we disagree politically, so why would you pray to the man in front of my whole family and I? This just seems really out of character. Can I call you instead? Boyfriend, why are you making this a big deal? Everyone can be wrong on stuff. I don't judge you or your family. OP, it's not about who's wrong or right. Praying to Trump is just straight up insane. Boyfriend, you're being childish. OP, bro, straight up answer my call. How are you real? Boyfriend, I'll call you after work. I am flabbergasted to say the least. Cause what? I think I've said this at some point here, but I'm gonna say it again one more time. Regardless of what you believe politically, you shouldn't be praying to those idiots. It's against your religion. It's fucking batshit. I mean, the audacity to pray in front of the family, who it sounds like the family is not supporting Trump. I'm trying to imagine if like my sister's boyfriend started praying to someone who we very outwardly don't support at a family dinner. I don't think that would go over well. I wouldn't let him finish. I wish OP would have given us more context into like how Trumpy he has been. Like, is this completely just out of nowhere, out of character? Or like, has this been ramping up? How long have they been dating too? Like, is this a boyfriend of like a month or is this a boyfriend of like 4 years? So many questions, so little answers, bro. Top comments, Fluid Bicycle 8750. Okay, stranger, dear friend, what I just read was absolutely diabolical. What the hell does he mean he was chosen so I speak to him? Girl, you need to fucking run because this is actually psychotic. I don't care who you worship or if you do it at all, but Trump, this is worse than celebrity worship. And I am genuinely flabbergasted by his messages. Leave him. Yeah, bro, if celebrity worship is a red flag, which I think it is in my opinion, political worship is even worse. Celebrities are celebrities, sure, I get it. They're idolized, they're cool. Politicians should not be idolized. If anything, we should like put them in a cage and study them. Neely Silverleaf, if you stay with him, you're signing on for this. I agree. Reginald Dwight, your political views can be wrong, but I respect you and your family anyways, is absolutely insane. I didn't even say anything about that. That's like high-key disrespectful as shit. C-Mac, the sex literally cannot be so good that you would honestly put up with that. Not overreacting. Please, for the love of all things, react more. Someone asked, what did he pray? OP said, along the lines of protect Americans' freedom, shield the children, purify the government, boost our economy. Corny as hell. Update comment, December 28, 2024, the next day. I have no clue how to update a post, but update relationship is over. I'm embarrassed from this ordeal, so I just spontaneously did it. It was less than a year, so I'll get over it, but damn. Thanks for the chill and nice comments, providing support, even though I can't read most comments. Lessons have been learned. You know what, chat? At least she's out. You definitely need to take a step back there and be like, okay, where did we fuck up here? You know, dating someone with opposite political beliefs as you is probably a good start, but you know, there's probably other red flags and signs in there. Like, there was no way that was a sane human being. There's no way that that human being was not showing signs that he was this fucking crazy. I firmly don't believe that. This was posted in r/traumatize them back, and it's just, you didn't know my grandma survived the Holocaust. Original post December 25th, 2024. I thought I should share this because my grandma's pretty awesome. So for some background, my grandma was born in Poland, although very young, remembers basically everything she experienced. She was hidden and moved around Poland and into France during the entire time of the war, and spent time in a DP, displaced persons camp, in Germany after the war. The only way for them to escape Poland was using fake papers, and would eventually end up in Australia, where from there she would marry my grandfather in America. Now they are pretty well off, and many would say they're living the American dream, coming from nothing. My grandma has an American accent, and you would never expect that in her childhood, she experienced some of the worst crimes known to man. Story time. My grandparents are at dinner with some friends and their friends. Now, the husband of the friends of friends starts talking about immigration and spewing all sorts of nonsense propaganda. Illegal immigrants are taking jobs, bringing over crime, R-wording people, and are destroying democracy. You know, a bunch of nonsense. So my grandma, the elegant, sophisticated woman that she is, goes, "Before you continue, I thought there is something I should tell you. I was an illegal immigrant and would have been murdered if not for my fake papers. Would you have preferred that I was killed all those years ago?" The look on the guy's face, I just wish I was there to see it. After that, she spent 20 to 30 minutes describing how she witnessed her entire family, except for her parents and sister, get slaughtered and had to live under floorboards for years. Almost got blown up on multiple occasions, and hear the deafening screams of her cousins as their parents are taken away and then cut short with the sounds of gunshots ring. Let's just say the other guy retracted his statements on immigration and started to rethink his entire personal philosophy. Proud grandchild. Hell fucking yeah, bro. People just want to hate so hard they don't actually think about like how much our country and of our history requires immigration. God, I'm so glad the grandma could just like lay her whole dick on the table. Let's fucking go, granny. Quick little edit saying I'm seeing her for Hanukkah in a few days and I plan on showing her everyone's messages. We'll update the post with her reaction. And edit 2, for those wondering, the United States government makes it extremely difficult for those seeking asylum to actually get refugee status, especially from the Americas. Due to this fact, many illegal immigrants are those that are trying to or should be classified as refugees. Yeah, bro, I think that's like a very common, like people don't think about it enough, is like, it's really fucking hard to get those statuses here. Like everyone wants to talk about, oh, don't do it illegally, you know, you could just do it normally. It's like, it's so fucking hard. Someone needs to make a video where it's like Americans learn exactly how fucking hard it is to legally migrate to this country. Because I genuinely believe if they actually took the time and effort to understand and realize how fucking stupid it is, they wouldn't say the shit that they say. But let's be honest, those people probably don't have good critical thinking skills. This feels like it's going to be anti-Semitism related. I mean, it was, maybe not directly anti-Semitism, but anti-immigrant. Definitely a little racism in there for real. Because like, let's be honest, chat, when people are complaining about the immigrants, they're being racist. Because they're not complaining about Canadian immigrants or European immigrants. They're fucking complaining about people coming from Mexico. Let's be fucking honest. When they're complaining about immigrants, those are the only ones they're actually talking about, and it's because they're racist as fuck. All right, let's just hop into the update here. December 29th, 2024, about 4 days after the original post. I want to thank everyone for saying such kind words and sharing your own stories and ones that you have heard. I read many aloud to my grandmother, and with tears in her eyes, she told me some more stories that I thought some people might find interesting. They are miscellaneous, so they aren't in chronological order. Story 1. My great aunt was born during the war, and relatively soon after she was born, the house they were in was bombed. My great-grandmother then used herself as a shield, covering her baby, not even realizing that shrapnel had punctured her knee until blood started getting anywhere. It was a Christian who went out and got penicillin illegally and helped wrap her leg. Story 2. One time my grandmother and her immediate family was caught by a Nazi. My great-grandfather then went to the Nazi and tried to empathize with him, asking if he knew what it was like having kids. After giving up any jewelry they had, the Nazi soldier agreed to let them go. I mean, still an asshole for taking the jewelry, but I guess it could have been worse. I guess it definitely could have been worse. Story 3, my great-grandmother on many occasions said to my great-grandfather how she couldn't take it anymore and that they should give themselves up. Every time he just said that tomorrow will be a better day, even though it never was. On the other hand, my grandmother was very young, born in 1938, so she didn't really remember what life was like before the war. It wasn't until after the war she not only found out she was Jewish, but realized not every child grew up only whispering and hiding. That children could actually have fun and not worry about their own safety. That's actually such a fucking crazy reality, chat. Like, whoa. Growing up literally thinking that that's the norm, that's fucking crazy. No child should ever have to. My family would have never survived if it wasn't for the Christian family that risked their lives and hid them. And although she was scared by the atrocities some committed, she will also never forget the kindness others have. We have recorded her entire story. However, I won't post it here for anonymity. If anyone is interested in learning more, there are many recordings online. And if you're in the DC area, the DC Holocaust Museum is extremely informative and powerful. I've actually been there. It is a great museum. I think everybody should go to that if they go to DC. This was posted in r/2X chromosomes. Devastated about my husband's wealthy-ish family's reaction to my first big gift for him. Original post, December 25th, 2024. I come from poverty. It is what it is. I had a very rich childhood in a lot of ways, except financially. Christmas was saved for year round, and we got one thing to wear, one book, and one fun thing. My husband comes from a family that grossed $300K a year, and Christmas was always a massive show off. Each kid had $2,000 plus under the tree easy. My husband and I started dating 5 years ago and have been married for 2.5 years. We've clawed our way up in life. He was not given financial help as an adult, and this year is the first time we can spend some decent money on Christmas. That's crazy, actually. Like, I can't decide if that's like cruel or maybe a little bit cool that like, it sounds like they grew up pretty privileged, but then they were expected as adults to not have that privilege, which like, don't get me wrong, I think makes sense after maybe you get through college, but like, that seems weird to me, chat. That seems like L parenting a little bit. Spoiling your kids for Christmas, but not supporting them as they become an adult and helping push them to success? What a weird parenting style. I think I'd want the opposite. Actually, not even want. That's how I was raised. I'm glad I was raised that way. I think this is an L way to raise your kids. He has been wanting a guitar for some time. He has never played and has expressed interest so many times, but we couldn't do it financially. I did lots of research, and from what I saw, beginners guitars were $150-ish, and from there went up to around your $5,000 plus guitar for really nice ones. I agonized over what I was going to choose and ended up telling him to cut the budget for me so that I could surprise him with a really nice gift. So I thought. My original budget was $500, but I really wanted to go big or go home. It ended up being around $900 Canadian plus $200 for accessories or so. Being able to spend that amount is just unfathomable for a former poor kid, but I did it because he deserves it. We finally have the means, and I was beyond excited to see his face light up. That's so fucking cute, bro. Like, it's one thing to get someone an expensive gift, but to get them a gift that they've been showing interest in and have been wanting and talking about for such a long time. What a W partner. This makes me so sad because I know it's gonna get ruined. Christmas morning comes and the tree gifts wait until his family arrives. I'm basically giddy at this point with excitement. Our turn comes for couples gifts, and I bring the guitar case out from its hiding place. He's so excited and opens the case, revealing the guitar, and then, oh, thanks, babe. Never heard of this brand. Not the overwhelming joy I was hoping for, but it's not about me, right? First off, fuck you. Like, what a shitty way to react to such a nice, thought out gift. Second, bro, I hate to say it to you, this is somebody who literally has a guitar. You don't need the top brand guitar when you're first starting out, because odds are you're gonna do what fucking happened to me, where you did lessons for a while, you were super passionate about it, and then for some reason you just fell off. You do not need a $5,000 guitar for your first guitar. I think mine was like $500, so like a $900 guitar is probably really fucking good, bro. That is just so unbelievably disrespectful. I'm actually like so hurt for OP. Like, I would expect this from the parents, not from the husband himself. Damn, his His brother says, "Aw, it's nice, a decent cheapy one to start out with." His dad chimes in, having played in his 20s, and says it's known for its lower end models, and they'd be happy to chip in for a nice one next year if he sticks with it. I have never felt such a punch to the gut. I assume I'm overthinking as per usual, but I am still so devastated from this 10 seconds of today, and I can't even really verbalize why. It felt like I was 9 years old again, trying to be excited about my new Aeropostale hoodie with my friend that got a MacBook and a Disney trip for Christmas. I think those comments affected how my husband viewed it too, because he hasn't touched it since, despite wanting it so badly for years. I guess I'm just venting. I feel so small and I just had to get it out. Here's what I'll say, chat. I know we love to go nuclear here. I don't think this is the case. I think this is you need to sit your husband down and explain to him how much that interaction hurt. I think the husband could be really stupid here and not realize how much this hurt OP. And I would like to say you should give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't realize how important and how excited this was, even just for you, and how honestly disrespectful his reaction was. I'll say it. And I don't think you can really take action here until you have a conversation with him and see how he reacts. Because if he reacts where he's like, "Oh, you're totally right. That was such a shitty reaction. This was a thoughtful gift. It was an expensive gift that you're not used to. I'm very thankful for it," which might help relieve some of OP's overthinking here. After OP has that conversation, that's when I think it's like, all right, go the nuclear option. If he's like, "Nah, babe, like you're just being dramatic," sure, I'll let you guys fucking shoot off your divorce papers in chat. Until then, I think we need to hear from the hubby. Though OP did seem quite taken aback, so this might have been the first time he said something so callous. I agree. I think we just need more info there. I think OP needs a confrontation. Until then, it's a red flag for me. Absolutely, Echo. I did not clarify that. I also think it's a red flag. Some of OOP's comments. Commenter asked, "I'm wondering if maybe your husband had a specific brand of guitar in mind that he wanted and that's why he reacted that way. Not sure if that'll help you feel better, but that was my first thought." OOP, I don't think he did. He's usually pretty forward with things and has never mentioned a specific brand. He's not super knowledgeable about any of it. My dad said the brand is common enough brand. I know his brother does have a Les Paul though, so by comparison, it definitely pales if he is only familiar with the high-end names. Les Pauls are very expensive, very nice guitars. Commenter asked, "What brand did you get?" It's a Guild 2050E. The person I spoke to at the music shop, Canada, said it was a very good choice. He talked me out of the other two options and reassured me of the quality/longevity. I was actually quite shocked he didn't know the brand, even as a non-musician. I mean, I've been out of the guitar game for a while, chat, but I don't know if I know what this guitar is. Oh, they got an acoustic electric. That definitely looked like a nice guitar. The only thing after seeing that, chat, I wonder if it was more about maybe he wanted like an actual electric, but we'll wait for the update for that. Commenter, how does he normally handle the class difference in your relationship? OP, he honestly never mentions it. It hasn't been a huge hurdle. We did struggle to meet in the middle when it came to what is essential versus just wants. Both of us had a skewed idea of that, but I think he had to rough it enough at 21 to 26 to be based in reality 90% of the time. Christmas just seems to be the exception. Commenter, sounds like you're actually devastated about your husband's reaction to the gift, not his family's reaction. OP, I think you're right. I was expecting him to be so excited, and then it just didn't really happen like that in the end. This guitar had been a passing conversation for years. My little sister was also very excited and helped me pick it out, so I think I also felt crushed for her too. Commenter, you cut the budget from your own present, and he agreed? Jesus, that's brutal. You need to think long and hard about potential children being exposed to this toxic materialistic mentality. Regardless of income, those comments were disgusting, but they seem set in their ways. OP, I still think he spent way over budget on me, so I don't know if he actually agreed. I'll give him that. He knows I stress about money endlessly, so I'm assuming he just agreed to make me feel better about wanting to spend more. What he got her for presents. He honestly did. He was very thoughtful. He got me a purse I've been wanting for a hot minute, and quite a few other things that he took note of over the past few months. He definitely went over the new budget, not the same price, but I really and truly am not a gift person, so the thought is 100 times more important to me. Okay, I feel like this is a green flag, right? Like, it sounds like he got her gifts that weren't meaningless. Like, it sounds like he listens to her if he took note of things over the past few months and got those things for her. I'm really hoping this is just a fucky-wucky on the husband's part, and he, I don't know, maybe he just is influenced by his family. Commenter, just an assumption, but even when he had to rough it, did he always have his family to fall back on, as in he wouldn't be homeless or anything. OP. Yeah, I suppose our idea of roughing it definitely differed. There has always been the safety net. He was pretty good about not using it and holding his own, but it was definitely still there. He got a taste of normal life because they didn't give him money to start out. He had to get his crappy minimum wage job like the rest of us, save and work up from there. Our collision of worlds has actually been good because he reminds me I deserve new jeans when mine have holes. And I remind him that he doesn't need a new pair of jeans every week. So it's only really when we're with them that he reverts back to this. Okay, this is important. Commodore, will he stand up for you in disagreements with his family about where to live, how you raise your children, against snide remarks from family members? If he doesn't have your back now, he never will. OOP, yes. In other ways, he definitely does. His parents disagree with many things we're doing with our daughter, namely getting 99% of things secondhand, aside from the car seat and mattress, and letting her get dirty, the horror. And he is usually quick to tell them, my kid, my rules. This was not typical behavior, which made it sting a little bit more, I think. Okay, honestly, chat, this sounds like a one-off thing. I think the husband is usually good, and this is a very out-of-character experience that OP is having currently. Me personally, do you guys agree with that? They need a little therapy? Okay, I think everybody needs a little therapy, Frankie, but you're probably right. This isn't divorce-worthy, but she needs to have a serious conversation with him. That's how I felt, Knight. As long as the husband wasn't a complete dickhead, I think they just need to have a serious conversation. Update, same post, December 26, 2024, the next day. I spoke with them this morning, trying to be very calm. I'm not confrontational by nature, so I put my anger aside and went into it with patience and grace. I asked if he was upset about the guitar, either the brand choice, the appearance, or something. I told him my feelings were hurt when his family made comments, even if unintentionally, that made it seem like I chose a child's starter instrument or something. I explained that I put a lot of thought and research into the build, the color, everything, so to make sure his first experience with a guitar was very positive. He was shocked to hear that I'd been thinking about it that way. He didn't think twice about what his family said. He apologized for their reaction and his, and explained that his comment about the brand was nothing more than what it seemed. He'd never heard of the brand, that's all. He said he loved it and was caught up on the craziness of Christmas, which is why he hadn't played it yet. It eased my mind a lot. I guess I'm just used to over-the-top reactions in my family. I think I'm still disappointed after a month's worth of excitement building was slashed pretty quickly, but at the end of the day, knowing he likes it makes their opinion mean a lot less. I hope the husband's being genuine. I actually think there is a chance maybe the husband isn't being as genuine, but based off of what we heard, I'd like to give it the benefit of the doubt that this was truly the case, that he didn't even realize that the wife was affected by this, or his reaction, while maybe wasn't the best reaction, it had no malice to it. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't, I don't know if I can say we, but I'm glad I didn't jump to the divorce conclusion, because I truly think this ended as best as it could. It was just a misunderstanding and they needed to communicate. I don't know, maybe his tone was off with her, but good ending. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel Black Beauty. It's still a little bit like, hey man, like you could have shown more excitement, but humans have their bad days. I like to think there are a lot more occasions than not where humans are just having off days. They're not thinking about other people's feelings and there are misunderstandings. People just in general need to have more awareness around certain situations, and you can't expect people to have that awareness all the time. My boyfriend keeps disappearing into the bathroom for an hour or more with a stick of butter, and the butter is gone when he finally comes out. Should give the warning that this is not safe for work, but I want to fucking know where that butter is going. Original post, June 26th, 2020. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years and we finally moved in together. Ever since we moved in, I have seen a new side of him. It's a very odd issue and I can't wrap my head around what to do. At first, I started to notice butter was disappearing quickly. I assumed maybe I lost track of how much we had, or maybe he was cooking when I wasn't around. I don't know. But one night, a few weeks ago, I saw him try to stealthily take a stick of butter from the fridge, which I pretended not to notice, and he took the butter with him into the bathroom. Now, I have noticed my boyfriend spending an hour or more of time in the bathroom since we moved in, but I never saw him take the butter before. I was so confused. When he came out of the bathroom about an hour later, I saw no sign of butter, but I also saw he did not put the butter back in the fridge. It was gone. Chat, we're making the prediction, all right? Make your predictions in chat right now. I think he's putting it in his ass. For sure. No doubt in my mind, bro's walking around with a stick of butter shoved up his pooper. I think that's where this is going, chat. I'm gonna make the call out now. Y'all agree with that? That's... Although, okay, here's the thing, Chad, though. An hour? In theory, he could make that happen pretty quick, right? But why is he in there for an hour is a good question. I tried to subtly keep an eye on him, and over a week, he did this 3 separate times, and each time a stick of butter disappeared. Finally, I said one day, "Where did all of our butter go?" I hardly used any this week and it's gone. He pretended to not know and said maybe we had forgot to buy it. I said no, we had 4 sticks before. Now they're gone. He just acted like it was a mystery and said, "Guess we should order up some groceries." By now, I was getting very confused, so I ordered groceries and made a point of saying, "Good to finally have 4 sticks of butter. This should last us quite a while." He made no comment. On the first 2 days, whenever I used a small amount of butter, I would remark about how much butter we had left. Finally, one day I saw him do it again. He took a stick of butter into the bathroom, was gone for an hour or so, and came back with no butter. I couldn't believe it. So when I made dinner, I acted shocked that 1 stick of butter was gone. He said maybe we only had 3, but he knew I'd been making a point of it. The very next day, another stick of butter gone. I listened at the bathroom door and heard sink water running and thought I heard moaning noises. I was so confused. Chat, we're cooking. That's definitely what he's using the butter for sure. Finally, this time when he came out, I said, "I know he's been taking butter into the bathroom." He got all flustered and said I must be mistaken. But I said I had literally seen him take the butter into the bathroom and come out without it, and that I know he has been lying to me about the quantity of butter in our fridge. He then started apologizing for misleading, but said, "Let's just not talk about it." And when he saw I was getting mad, he said, "What if I just order my own separate private butter?" Bro, the missing butter isn't the issue. It's what the hell are you doing in that bathroom, bro? I was like, okay, but what are you doing with the butter? He asked me to promise him to never ask about his butter activities again and to just put it behind us. He said, "Just look the other way on this one thing," and stressed how it's not a big deal at the end of the day. I was like, okay, I guess. But I have been so confused and even disturbed about it. Like, what is he doing with the butter? Why was he lying about it? Why won't he tell me? I don't even think he is eating it because he is not an overweight guy, and I feel like if somebody ate that much butter, they'd become hefty. But he shows no signs of it. I'm just like, who is this guy? Am I overreacting? It is just so odd I see him in a different light and I'm not sure what to do. Should I just ignore it? Here's the thing, chat. I don't think Opie should ignore it, not because she necessarily has a right to know, but like this person is on track to becoming your life partner. You are gonna spend your life with them. This sounds like it's some sort of weird kink, whatever he's doing with this goddamn butter, and you should know about that kink. I think if there's something sexually that pleases your partner, that even if it's weird, you should be open to at least hearing it. And as long as nobody's getting hurt and nothing's crossing any boundaries, you should be open to exploring certain things with your partners if you love them enough and want to keep them in your life forever. That being said, I could see this being something weird that maybe OP isn't comfortable with. So I'm trying to think, because I think her best plan of action is approaching him being like, "Hey, I know you're probably doing something sexual with it. Like, I'm your partner. I want to support you in whatever you're interested in sexually." I'm debating if like you should lie to them and say like, "No matter what, I love you," but like it ended up being something really messed up that you can't get over and you have to break up with him. I think you have to have one of those conversations with him. I don't like supporting lying guys, but like also he is kind of indirectly lying to OP. Maybe an ultimatum is the right move here. I don't know. I know Reddit fucking hates ultimatums, but me personally, my partner's going in there with a stick of butter. I have to know what they're doing. I would not be able to sleep at night without knowing what the fuck they're doing with that stick of butter. All right, and it looks like their update was a "Today I fucked up" post. Today I fucked up by confronting my boyfriend who kept secretly bringing sticks of butter into the bathroom for an hour or more and coming out without the butter. June 27th, 2020, a day after the original post. This morning I said, "Look, yes, you should buy private personal butter for your activities, but I said, I need to know what you do with the butter." He got very quiet and then said, "Fine, I'll tell you just this once." And he told me everything. I was so mortified and confused. I cannot tell you what it is, but I will say it is a sensual activity. Extremely sensual. What's the fun in that? I need to know, bro. I need to know what he's doing with this butter. You can't blue ball us like this. It is definitely an inappropriate use of butter. I cannot even type what it is due to how graphic it is. On one hand, it's just butter. But on the other hand, I can no longer see him the same way. I am staying at my parents'. To make matters worse, a friend of his found my other post and sent it to him saying, LOL, this must be about you. Damn, his friend fucking knew about this butter thing, but his girlfriend didn't? What is happening? Why does this friend know about his butter activities, bro? I guess he used to do it in college too, and he is furious. And now other people I know IRL know what he does with butter. He is angry at me for exposing his butter-based proclivities. Now I have probably ruined my relationship and everyone knows my business, causing me shame and humiliation. I can't believe what he does with butter though, and I don't think I can be with someone who does things like that. I consider it a momentous fuck up for me to have ever confronted him about it. This is my mistake because I can never unknow what I know. I mean, do you really want to be in a relationship with somebody who, I guess, does it? I don't know how bad it is, but apparently it's bad enough for you to freak out. And second, like, who isn't open and honest about the things that they like to do sexually with you? Like, I'm just so curious. Like, listen, bro, if he's just like putting it up the pooper, I really don't think it's that bad, but she's making it sound like it's a pretty fucking bad thing. Maybe someone in the comments has an answer? There's a joke about I can't believe it's not butter here somehow. King communities of Reddit, now's your time. Please enlighten us. What are the ways of the butterers? All right, guys, this might be a little graphic, but here we go. Not quite 10 years ago, I went to an amateur film festival. One of the films showed a man shove a stick of butter up his then put on short shorts and walk around town. He returned home and dispensed the butter onto a piece of toast. You can fill in the rest. It was the only film that got an audible reaction from the audience. Yeah, we're gonna have to censor the fuck out of that one. I don't even know what to say, chat. I regret digging further into this story. I didn't think about the eating part. Chat, I want to be done with this story. We did a little bit too much FBIing today. We could have FBI'd a little bit less. 2 years ago, I bought 5 Australian classic cars cheap for sale from the widow of a deceased backyard collector. The widow has died and now the grandson has threatened to sue as he wanted the cars. Grandson is a lawyer. Original post December 15th, 2018. I'm close friends with a coworker and we've helped his mother in her 80s with house maintenance. His mother's neighbor, I'll call her Elaine, was in her 90s in 2016 when Elaine's husband, who was in a home, died. While doing maintenance on my coworker's mother's house, I drove there in my 1975 Falcon, and Elaine came out to ask me to have a look at some cars I might like that belonged to her husband. I won't go into detail except 3 were in good drivable condition and worth a decent figure, and 2 more were ruined but had good car parts. At the time, I couldn't afford anywhere near what they were genuinely worth. 2 are at least in the top 5 desirable Australian classics. I told her what they could fetch on the open market, but she was happy to take $5,000 for all 5 cars, well under their value. She wanted to make sure they went to someone who would appreciate them, and I paid for and collected them a week later, and I still have 3 good ones. 2 now on historic registration and the other in storage. Elaine passed away in the middle of this year, and her grandson is on the warpath over the cars. He's found my contact details and phoned me several times threatening to sue for effectively stealing the cars from his grandmother, and has turned up at my front door once demanding the return of the cars. I've not been served or received anything in writing from him in a legal sense, only his business card, which sounds dodgy. I verified he's an actual lawyer as he claims through a website of his employer, which lists him with photo as specializing in commercial and insurance law, just like his business card. I'd have expected if there was a real legal issue with the ownership of the cars, it would be in relation to the grandmother's estate proceedings, and I'd be contacted by mail by someone acting as executor, not via phone calls and doorstop visits by one angry smug bastard acting like it's happening between me and him alone. Since I'm not a lawyer and my presumptions could be completely out, I'm posting here. If need be, I could now afford the market price of all the cars. Is the grandson likely to have a case? And should I find a lawyer of my own? I mean, as long as they went through and granted, I don't know shit about Australia, but as long as they went through all the proper channels, OP should be fine, right? It's just more of the messiness and the headache of having someone try to sue him. I'm almost curious, guys. I kind of want to read the relevant comments really quick because I think that's going to be where we're going to get the best legal advice. Not a lawyer, but if Elaine's husband left them to her in his will, she was free to do with them as she pleased. Ergo, the grandson has no claim. He'd be banking on your uncertainty of that to strong-arm you into cutting a deal. Don't ignore any official summons or claims, but you can safely tell him to sod off over the phone. If you want to get really petty, you can contact his law firm and complain about him. But as long as he wasn't saying that his employer was in any way involved, it's none of their business. So they could tell you, cool. So what? OOP replied to that, thanks, banking on my uncertainty is a good way to describe the vibe I'm getting from him. He's not exactly throwing his law firm's name around, but it is on the business card he gave me. OOP on what the cars are. Yeah, I'm not a car guy, so this doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry if you care about cars and you wanted me to read that. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, she would have had to own the title to the cars, right? I mean, as long as they do cars similarly to how they do it in Australia and he did everything legal, those cars should legally be his, no matter how much he paid for them. Maybe Australia is different, but update here. So the title is Update on the Lawyer Grandson Threatening Legal Action Over Cars I Bought from His Grandmother. He's a real lawyer, but he lied about being her grandson. December 28th, 2018, 13 days later. I spoke with my coworker about the issue and he talked with his mother who clued me into her neighbor, Elaine, from my previous post, not having any grandsons. My coworker's mother is still in contact with Elaine's son and daughter as they own and still work on Elaine's old house next door. She put them in contact with me. They wanted to know who it was who was actually threatening what about the cars, as Elaine has no grandsons, and we spoke. They identified the lawyer's grandson as an old ex. He was once a partner of, but not married to, one of Elaine's granddaughters for a few years. He's also known to be in a lot of debt, which might explain desperate hunting for valuable items. Elaine's son and daughter reiterated that their dad had left instructions to Elaine for the cars to go to someone who'd cherished them, and they were happy they did. And glad to hear from me that they're still being looked after together. I haven't contacted the faux grandson's law firm yet. I have a lot of evidence of his misrepresentations to me, and after Googling NSW law, I'm not 100% sure of the legality of all of it, especially about sharing my home security and dash cam recordings directly to the other firm, or even speaking directly to them. I'll go through my own legal representation there as a filter on what I need to give them to make sure they know of his behavior linked to their firm. Small update. Fake grandson came around twice more. I now have multiple recordings of him visiting my residence, threats via text, and many phone calls to me after I asked him to not contact me again except in writing. Complaints have been made through my lawyer to his firm and relevant regulatory bodies. I informed him of the complaints on Thursday and reiterated not to contact me again, and I haven't heard a peep from him since. Last update, fake grandson had already been dismissed from the firm before my lawyer and I complained, and he already has complaints against him for other reasons. We love it. Happy ending. Bro, the audacity though of trying to lay claim over something that the only connection you had was you dated the granddaughter once. That's fucking crazy. Impersonating a relative must be a criminal offense, right? Nightshade said it. It's fraud. It's just dead ass fraud. Am I the a-hole for not letting my husband into the labor room and picking our child's name? Plus an 11-month update. Original post, January 26th, 2024. I, 28 female, had been together with my husband, 27 male, for nearly 10 years. We got married at 21, had our son a year after, followed by our daughter 3 years later. I built my whole life around my family. We got good jobs. He worked full time. I worked from home. We had a good home in a great neighborhood, and we put our children in good schools. We also had a successful business on the side. I thought we did everything right. My best friend since we were in middle school lived close. We had our daughters around the same time, and we'd have play dates all the time. We leaned on each other a lot. I gave her all the support when she was going through issues with her daughter's deadbeat father and got her in contact with a good lawyer. I leaned on her when I was recovering from my traumatic second birth and the depression that followed. We leaned on each other for everything. Oh no, stepbro, I know exactly where this is going. No, please. 10 months ago, I found out I was pregnant for the third time. I was really uneasy about this because of my traumatic experience the second time. Also, my husband and I both agreed we were done after our 2 children. I considered abortion, but my husband insisted we keep it. I was still uneasy about the pregnancy and borderline miserable for the next 6 months. I was diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidarum. I probably fucking butchered that. And was throwing up 20 times a day for 6 months straight. I lost a ton of weight, had to stop working, and was sent to the hospital frequently due to severe dehydration. My husband stood by me and showered me with attention, for which I was so grateful. He cut down his hours at work to look after me, the house, and the kids. My best friend would come over to our house frequently to check in on me and also help with the house. When I hit 6 months, the hyperemesis gravidarum decreased a lot and I was almost back to myself. One night after having a movie night with my family, my husband and I were getting ready to sleep. He fell asleep right away while I quickly checked on the kids before getting into bed. His phone was vibrating like crazy, so out of genuine curiosity, I unlocked his phone. We used to do this a lot when we were younger, so I didn't think too much of it. I was already sitting in bed. I saw the messages from my friend. They were frantic spam messages. Oh, hello, pretty boy. Hello, handsome man. Handsome man. Everybody's been asking about you. The streams have been asking about you, handsome boy. They want to see the star of the show. How we doing, Mr. Beans? Oh, okay. We're taking the high ground. You are welcome to have the high ground. Oh, now he wants down from the high ground. Okay. Oh, he wants low ground. He's a little shy. I think it's because we have so many people in the stream now. Now he's got a lot of people he's got to perform for. Can I come pet you? Oh, I don't think he wants me to pet him, chat. What's wrong? Yeah. One more hold. And then if you want to jump down, I'll let you jump down. Hey, buddy. Yeah, that's my son. That's my silly, handsome man. He's purring. He's having a good time. Oh, he's gonna jump. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna flop. Okay. All right, guys, that might be the only Bean interaction we get today. You kind of just gotta let Beans participate how Beans wants to participate, you know? If he wants to be up all in this shit, believe me, he'll get up all up in this shit. I saw messages from my friend. They were frantic spam messages. One of them said, please come over. I need you. Another said, I know I shouldn't be messaging here, but I miss you. And come over when she's asleep. I think I was there in a daze for nearly 5 minutes. I cried a lot quietly and the fatigue kind of left me. I scoured his phone looking for more. I saw emails and DMs from them both, even using apps like Kik to message, and the pictures. But the worst part was finding out my husband left me one time in the hospital with my mother while he went back home where my kids were being babysat by my friend and got intimate in our bedroom with our kids in the house. This motherfucker is evil, bro. Hales, I understand why some women kill. I get it. Yeah, bro, she better get some fucking revenge here on them. Divorce papers in chat for real, for real. Fuck this husband and fuck this friend. How absolutely diabolical is that? I kicked him out the following morning after confronting him and filed for separation sometime after. For the next 2 months, he had been begging for forgiveness, then complaining and insulting me that I'm not letting him see his kids or that I'm stopping him from going with me to the doctor appointments, which I had been. We had planned months earlier about who was going to be in the labor room. It was going to be my mother and my husband. He called me when I was 35 weeks, questioning the labor situation. At this point, he had moved in with my ex-friend's house. Whoa! He had moved into my ex-friend's house shortly before this call. I said no, and he got very angry. Lots of my in-laws and family members told me to put our differences aside for our baby. I still said no. I gave birth to my son with my mother and sister present and didn't feel any regret about my choice. All right, in-laws make sense. In-laws are his parents. Fuck the in-laws. Family members, bro, drop every single one of them. That's crazy. If you get cheated on and any family member doesn't tell you to like fucking go nuclear on that person, they're not worth having around. Or their opinion is completely irrelevant. After my second traumatic birth, I just wanted to make sure this one was as stable as possible, which it was. We were going to name our child after his father who passed away. I went along with it to make him happy, but I changed my mind and picked a name I had always loved since childhood. This aggravated him even more. Damn, you know what else is aggravated? When you get cheated on with your best friend. That guy can fucking suck a fat one. Am I the a-hole because I'm being guilt tripped by many people right now? All I want is for everyone to leave me alone and for me to just be with my kids. Edit, just wanted to add that I do let him see the kids. That would be crazy if I didn't. My children love their dad. I just have certain boundaries now that we aren't together, and he doesn't respect them. He gets angry and says things that are categorically not true. He got to meet our newborn son hours after I gave birth. Did she say how old her kids were again? Okay, I'm guessing the kids are pretty fucking young, but like, if I were mommy, I'd be telling the kids as soon as fucking possible that their dad cheated on her with her best friend. For him to also die on the hill of moving in with said best friend after committing this atrocity, you don't owe this absolute trash man anything after what he's done to you. If anything, it's a miracle you haven't done more to him. Absolutely not the a-hole. Please, for the love of God, change change the people that are in your life, because everybody should be telling you this is fucking crazy. Fuck this man. You're doing the right move. Update December 26th, 2024, 11 months later. So I'm back after nearly a whole year. I completely forgot about this post because I've been so wrapped up in other things. Like I said, it's basically been a whole year. My baby turned 1 today, and after celebrating his birthday and Christmas with my kids, it finally hit me. This is my new reality. First of all, my ex-husband and I finally went through with the divorce proceedings. I had been holding off during my pregnancy and early postpartum period to avoid adding stress and to carefully plan for my children and myself. I was awarded primary physical custody of our children. Their dad visits once a week, and the 2 older kids, 7 and 4, spend every other weekend with him. My youngest will start doing the same in a couple of months, which makes me nervous. He's especially clingy with me. All my kids are, but my youngest has really only known me as the most present parent. One of the main stipulations in our custody agreement is that my ex's affair partner is prohibited from seeing the kids. My poor kids have been confused enough by their parents' sudden split, and I didn't want them even more confused by seeing their aunt, who is supposed to be mommy's best friend, with their dad. It was deemed emotionally detrimental in court. As for the baby name, he's been so bitter about it. I think he's still annoyed about it. His side has been trying to convince me to change the name to something we both like, especially after the divorce was finalized. But it's been a year now, and the baby quite literally answers by the name I gave him, so I'm not going to be changing it. He was also unhappy with the child support payments, among other payments, and asked for some revisions. One main thing he asked to change was the cost of our kids' school tuition. He pays for their tuition, which I felt was too much and too harsh, but the court stuck with the original payments. The audacity to ask for a revision. This is the bed that you made, bro. You could have just not slept with her best friend and you wouldn't have to make those payments. But instead, you chose to be an idiot. As for my ex-husband and ex-best friend, they continued dating. I found out that they had started seeing each other a month into my 3rd pregnancy. They had actually slept together during my 2nd pregnancy, but didn't pursue a relationship then because, as they put it, they weren't ready to ruin things and didn't want to hurt anybody. My ex's side have been very supportive of their relationship, even inviting her to holiday gatherings like Thanksgivings or family holidays. Because of this, my kids don't go very often to these events. I don't know, after this whole fiasco, I'm coming to the realization that perhaps my ex's side never really liked me all that much. But that's okay. I eventually spoke with my ex-best friend to ask why they did it. She claimed that they were just friends, but grew close while she was dealing with issues involving her deadbeat ex-boyfriend. Both of them insisted that my ex-husband just wanted to protect her, which supposedly turned into love. Hearing this hurt me a lot, but at the same time, I felt relieved to know the truth. When I sat with this information for a while, it stopped hurting. It made me realize that I didn't still love my ex-husband and could finally let go of him and their betrayal. They broke up a week ago. Apparently, it's just a break, though who knows? I mean, my argument to this as well is like, if he did this with your best friend, it was only a matter of time that he would have done this with somebody else. That is a harsh reality, but like, bro, if he can do it with literally somebody you love, he could do it with a random stranger. If he hadn't already at that point. God, I just want his kids to fucking hate him. Is that terrible of me, chat? Although my kids go to their dad's house every other weekend, it has helped a lot with making time for myself. Obviously, I'm figuring out who I am without being a wife or mom all the time. In many ways, I find what happened to be a true blessing, which is why I'm no longer angry. As for me, I've been seeing someone. It hasn't been very long, nor is it that serious yet, but we get along great. Initially, my ex-husband made the whole situation difficult. He didn't want me to have any man, specifically around the kids. That scares me a lot, that like 2 people that you love and trust could break your trust that hard. I hope and pray everybody in chat, everybody here, nobody has to deal with that. My boyfriend has started acting distant and ghosting me after meeting my parents last week. How do I reach out to him? We have a 26 female OP, 36 male boyfriend. I guess it'll depend how long they've been dating. And a 49 male dad, 50 male mom. Original post December 17th, 2024. My boyfriend Derek and I met through mutual friends 6 months ago and we immediately hit it off. Okay, then I don't think the age gap is bad. OP is completely adult. Derek is completely an adult. No raised eyebrow there. From me, at least. He is sweet, funny, kind, and just generally a good guy. He is super extroverted and I have never seen him dislike or not click with anyone. I mentioned him to my parents a couple times and they said they were excited to meet him. My parents live a road trip away, so me and Derek had to book a hotel nearby. About 2 weeks ago, we dropped all of our stuff in the hotel and arrived at my parents' house. My parents are the most welcoming people you'll ever meet. They have met some of my past significant others in the past and have always been warm and kind. Since both of my parents and Derek are charismatic and welcoming, I thought the dinner would go smoothly. but I was wrong. It didn't start off too bad. My parents and Derek seemed a bit awkward, but I assumed he was just nervous. We sat for dinner and my parents asked us a couple of questions. How did we meet? How serious is the relationship? Etc, etc. I've never seen Derek stutter or hesitate before this dinner, but he did. As soon as I finished eating, he thanked my parents for dinner and said we had to go. It felt like he was rushing to get out of the house. When we got to the hotel room, he ran to the bathroom and I heard him throw up. All right, this is getting weirder and weirder, chat. He said he felt sick and he was going to head back home, but he insisted I stayed and enjoyed the rest of the trip without him. I agreed since I really missed my parents and he seemed to want to be alone. I texted him a couple of times asking how he was doing / if he felt better, but he didn't reply. After 2 days passed, I started to get really worried that maybe he was really sick and had to go to the hospital or something, so I cut the trip short and headed back home. I went to his apartment and saw he was okay. I asked him how he was doing and why he wasn't replying, and he said he felt fine and that I was overreacting. He told me he still felt sick and he wanted to be alone. I went back home and texted him asking if I did anything wrong and if our relationship was okay since he was acting so weird and cold. A week has gone by since the text message and he has not replied. Derek is the last person I'd expect to ghost me. I'm torn between wanting to give him space and wanting answers. How do I even reach out to him without pushing him further? Chat, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yo, dude, you just gave me a fucking heart attack. You just scared the actual shit out of me, bro. Hey, buddy. Oh, wrong side. You guys probably didn't hear it on the mic, but I heard him meow. And so I looked back, and right when I looked back, he just fucking jumped, like not at my face, but close enough to where like, I thought I was fucking dying. Like, you're just so silly. How did you become such a silly man, huh? Get that boy a treat? All right, we'll get that boy a treat. Does the pretty handsome man want to, oh, and then he went on the floor. I think he prefers his treats on the floor. I don't really understand why. That one is from Xenomorph for all the gifted subs. This one is from Emily for all the gifted subs. Oh yeah, he's eating that shit up, chat. This one is for Mr. Rogue for all the gifted subs. Oh, yeah, and then this one is just from chat in general. Yo, that motherfucker scared the shit out of me, bro. That's crazy. That's gonna make a great Beans clip, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Beans is clip farming for me. I don't ever clip farm. My fucking cat clip farms. All right, chat. What I was gonna say before my cat rudely interrupted me. My bold prediction for this story is OP and this boyfriend are related. That's the only thing that makes sense for this completely 180 turnaround. Like, what would make him so sick that he would throw up as soon as they got back from the hotel and that would make him want to ghost her? Maybe the boyfriend recognizes the parents from like some family something, but they don't recognize him. Update December 23rd, 2024, about a week after the original post. Sorry I didn't reply to many of your comments. They were mostly just saying Derek was secretly my brother, which is horrifying, so I wasn't sure how to reply. I tried to reply to questions when I saw them pop up. The past few days have been a mess, but now that everything is settled, I thought I would go on here and update all of you. I took your guys' advice and decided to speak my parents rather than Derek to discover if maybe they said anything or knew each other in the past, like many of you suggested they might. 4 days ago, I called my mom and told her about Derek's weird reaction after our dinner. I asked her for advice or if she knew what happened. She was silent for a moment and I heard her start crying. She started apologizing and I didn't understand what she was trying to tell me at first. Eventually, I got her to calm down and she told me what had happened. My mom is a high school teacher and apparently Derek was her student in his senior year and she told me that they had an affair. Extremely fucked up of the mom, for real. Not only for the affair, but he was probably a minor. If not a minor, still shouldn't have been sleeping with an 18-year-old. She didn't give me that many details. Honestly, I don't even want to know. All she said is that they only slept together once before she shut it down and that my father knew and they had attended couples counseling years ago to work through this. She cried a lot and said it was her greatest regret. Then she told me she wanted me to break it off with Derek because he brought back really awful memories and she found the age gap concerning. She's one to talk about age gaps. But ultimately, she said it was my decision and she didn't want her past mistakes to ruin my relationship. I mean, a little late for that one, Mom. I went to Derek's apartment again and he invited me in. He said he had to tell me something, but I stopped him and told him I had already talked to my mom and knew everything. He promised me he had no idea up until the point we had come over for dinner where he immediately recognized her. He apologized for ghosting me and said he just didn't know what to say, and he was scared that he would ruin my relationship with my parents or maybe ruin their marriage. I mean, fuck, bro, I'm not a big fan of ghosting someone you're about to get in a relationship with, but if anybody has a good reason to ghost, it's this guy. Cause yeah, that's crazy. I totally understand it. I would probably do the same thing. I forgave him, but told him that the whole situation was just way too messy for me, and he agreed. So yeah, that's how my past few days have gone down. Honestly, I do kind of miss Derek, but not too much since the whole banging my mom thing is a massive turnoff. Thank you for all the replies. I feel like I would never see my mom the same again. How can I work on rebuilding our relationship and trust moving forward? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't think I'm qualified for advice on this one, chat. I'm trying to debate if it would be a good thing or a bad thing if she spoke about it with her dad. Because like her dad's figured out a way to come to terms with it. Maybe he can help her if that's what she even wants to do. I don't think I could look at my parent the same if this was the case, bro. This is fucking crazy. Borderline criminal too. Like there's probably a possibility that this was a crime. Should definitely confirm with the dad that he does know. That's a good point too, Olivia. Why is OP more concerned about maintaining her relationship with her mom and not her relationship with her groomed and traumatized boyfriend? Here's the thing, chat. With somebody I'd been only dating for 6 months, I would probably cut my losses there too, honestly. Like, I think that would be too weird. I don't think I could maintain a relationship there either. I kind of don't blame OP. She's allowed to leave him, of course, but I just don't know why she's so ready and willing to rebuild her relationship with her mom. What was the exact line? Hold on, let's read it. How can I work on rebuilding our relationship and trust moving? Oh, that's a good point. I don't think you want to rebuild your relationship and trust with somebody like that. My boyfriend of a year has a cat, and the way he treats it bothers me. We have a 25 female OP and a 27 male boyfriend. Original post October 4th, 2017. I've been dating this guy for a year, otherwise nice, handsome, funny, good job, but he has a cat that he's had for years that I think he's way too attached to and affectionate about. Oh no, is this gonna hurt my feelings, chat? Am I gonna get a call out of a century here?
That's my silly handsome man.
How did you become such a silly man?
If the cat is sitting on his lap, he'll avoid getting up unless he has to, citing the cat being asleep, or in his terms, she's catting. He's asked me to get him stuff from the kitchen when I get a drink, when he could just move the cat himself. That is a cardinal sin, woman. How dare she? I already don't like her. I want him to break up with her. Sometimes he'll be at the computer, on the couch, or even lying in bed and the cat will jump on him, or he'll come home when I'm already there since I have a key, and sometimes get off work before, and the cat will run up to greet him. What bothers me is in these instances, he said more than once, "There's my girl," and stop what he's doing to scratch the cat behind its ears or pet it or whatever. Bro, being jealous of a cat is crazy. Dude, I just know OP's like, no, I'm your girl. No way OP is jealous of a cat. This seems like way too much attention for a grown man to be lavishing on a cat of all things. I've considered suggesting he get rid of it, but he's had it for something like 7 years and don't know if he'd give it up. Do I have any options here? Yeah, be a fucking nicer person, bro. I'm gonna put a verdict here. You're the a-hole. Let my boy love his cat. That is the biggest green flag I've ever seen in my life. This man loves and cherishes this thing. How do you think he's gonna treat your kids or you? Like, homegirl's definitely jealous, or she's just a cynical ass human. I hope bro gets his ass kicked in gear and is like, wait a minute, this girl fucking sucks. If someone hated my cat, I'm cutting out that person. No, for real. Like, me and bro come as a package deal, all right? All these relevant comments are just her getting reality checked. I'm really overwhelmed by responses I'm getting. I thought his behavior was abnormal towards a pet. It's normal to lavish attention on an animal like that. To call a cat my girl when his girlfriend is literally 10 feet away, that honestly just seems weird to me. Me as I'm like, my handsome boy, my pretty handsome man. Like, yeah, dude, that's what you do. That was his girl, honestly, before you were his girl. My father and brother have a utilitarian approach to the dogs. We've never had cats. Dogs are for hunting and home protection. They displayed some affection for them, but I never saw them get upset when it was time for a dog to be put down. My boyfriend is affectionate towards me. We cuddle and have sex plenty. I'm not complaining about that. He'd probably be sad if he had to put the cat down. Hell, he just spent like $600 on some vet visit stuff for the cat a few weeks ago. We had a big argument when I asked if euthanasia was cheaper or not. My dad never shelled out money like that on vets. That makes me unbelievably fucking angry that people like this can own animals. Cause what the fuck, bro? You can't spare $600 for another living thing that you have taken responsibility for? Bro, if anyone ever recommended euthanasia for my cat and it wasn't like he's in pain, it's morally responsible to put him down, get the fuck out. You are never allowed in my life again. That's fucking crazy. Edit, I'm surprised at how this is apparently normal. If that's the case, I don't think I could deal with this in the long term and consider ending the relationship. Do this man a favor. You don't deserve him. Update October 5th, 2017, which is exactly a day after the original post. I, like the rest of my family, view pets in a utilitarian light. I'm not just comfortable with a lot of affection being displayed towards an animal, even if it's supposedly normal. I gave it consideration during and after the tread and decided to break up with my boyfriend. When I broached the topic and the reason, his response was, "Oh, good." To be honest, I've been trying to figure out the most tactful way to break it off since our argument where you wanted me to euthanize my cat to save money. I also wanted to take time to think about if I was sure I thought we were done. You can give me your apartment key back now and have your stuff out by Friday night. I'll buzz you in if you can't finish tonight. So I guess that's it. That was abrupt. Hell yeah, bro. It makes me happy that he was like, oh, thank God I wanted to break this shit off with you. Unless you are allergic to animals, how fucked up in the head do you have to be to think about animals like this? Crazy. Couldn't be me. I love my baby boy. Me and my baby boy till the end of time. That argument was pretty recent. He'd been a bit distant since and made it clear it was a big part of why he was done. He actually called me a bitch during the argument at the time and he kicked me out of the apartment. Yeah, no, she definitely deserved that. That is just such a sad existence. Like, animals are truly a gift to humanity. I can't even imagine thinking about my animals that I grew up with that I loved in the way that OP does. Honestly, disgusting. Guys, the last story. Hopefully a wholesome one. Just titled, He's Up to Something. Originally posted in r/marriage on November 17th, 2024. Before we finish up this last story, if you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means that you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading Reddit videos. I upload 2 a week. They're usually 40+ minutes and they go up every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, I have over 110 reading Reddit videos on my channel. So if you're looking for your daily dose of drama, head on over to my channel for hours and hours of reading Reddit stories just like this one. My husband traveled for work last week and was very cagey about some packages that may or may not arrive while he was gone. He went so far to have my dad on standby to come pick it up off our doorstep before I would see it. He's been back home for 3 days and has given me strict instructions not to go to his office. I usually bring him breakfast in the morning, but I've been asked to leave it on the banister outside his door. He's also spent a good 10 hours locked up in there during his free time doing something. I can hear his tape measure wibble around and occasional bangs and furious typing. He always comes out smiling and refusing to talk about what he's doing, just that it's Christmas stuff. And I should mind my own business, LOL. I'll admit I did a great job with his birthday present a few months ago, but we've already decided that my big present is the puppy we've been planning for months, and I get to bring him home soon. I have no idea what he's up to in there, but I know for a fact he's working very hard to make me happy, and I feel extremely loved. He doesn't know I'm about to knock it out of the park with my Christmas shopping this year. I can't wait to see who wins. Edit to add, this man was not a Christmas person when we met, but I adore Christmas, and over the years, my enthusiasm has rubbed off on him. I still wouldn't say he loves Christmas, but he sure does love me and making me happy. I'm so lucky to have him in my life. When is it my turn? This is so fucking cute, bro. This is exactly what we needed, chat. We needed something wholesome in this absolutely crazy shit show. I should honestly try to end all of my videos, all of my streams with a wholesome story because we love. All right, let's see what the relevant comments have cooked for us. Sounds like he's accepted your challenge. I'm on the hunt for a really good deal on a new cell phone. Wife isn't too picky, but our phones are 4 years old. Batteries are aging and she wants one that takes good pictures. OOP, this is my favorite thing to get competitive with him on, mostly because I'm an excellent gift giver, so I usually win. Between whatever he's cooking up in there and the puppy though, I don't know how I'm gonna beat him this year. Another commenter, I'm not a really good gift giver, but I gave my husband the perfect gift 2 years ago. He literally cried with happiness. I don't think I'll ever be able to equal that again. It was 30 uncleaned ancient Roman coins. That is such a man gift if I haven't heard one before. OP, this is my favorite feeling in the world. When we were very poor, I saved up for weeks to get him some wool socks to keep his feet warm, and he choked up about it. The socks are falling apart 10 years later, but he still loves them. Stop it. They're literally so fucking cute. Update time, December 25th, 2024. I have terrible news. Today, for the first time in 13 years, I have lost Christmas. I am out of my league. My husband has surpassed my greatest expectations it's over. We picked up our new puppy the week after Thanksgiving. The weekend before was a mad dash to get the house puppy-proofed and Christmas ready. In the middle of that, husband announced that this year we're getting an 8-foot tree. We had to have my dad meet us with his truck to get it home. It looks fantastic. Since then, I've had my hands more than full with my now 11-week-old puppy. She's an asshole, and I love her so much. But between the constant potty trips, forced naps, and feedings, presents keep showing up under the tree. In the fancy wrapping paper, wrapped in hand-tied ribbons, fixed in place by an honest-to-God wax seal. Piles of them. I asked him if he was sleeping with his secretary. Nope. He just said, I've had a hard year, and I deserve a nice Christmas. I have had a hard year, though no fault of his. Just one of those things. I haven't complained, he just knew. Anyway, long story short, he got me a gaming PC. I game in bed due to some health issues that make sitting at a desk very painful. This is fine for laptop gaming, but you're somewhat limited with that medium for the newest and greatest tech. So he engineered a custom monitor stand that attaches to the wall out of the way, but can swing out on an arm right in front of me while I'm sitting in bed. That is so fucking cute, bro. Are you kidding me? I'm screaming. That's such a thoughtful gift. Goddamn, bro. I can only hope to be as in love with someone to want to do something with this and have someone who loves me hard enough to do something for me like this. He built the model in CAD, which he had to teach himself to use. He bought all the individual components for the custom mount, which he wrapped individually, as well as all the hardware for my PC. We're going to build and mount everything together this week. Apparently, he's been planning this for months and saving for it for even longer. He put so much time and thought into this right down to the presentation Christmas morning. I had always written off getting a nice PC because it's not practical to use in bed, but he wasn't satisfied with that for me. Now I have possibly the nicest gaming PC money can buy and definitely the most thoughtful husband love can earn. I think he's more excited than I am. He loved the gifts I got for him, but we both know he won this year. He's gracious enough not to rub it in my face, possibly because he's too excited to tell me about how nice my new processor is. I don't know how either of us will top this next year, but I guess I'd better start scheming now. Chat, all the crazy shit we've read today, it all does not matter because this last story makes me so fucking happy, chat. What a great story to end stream on. I need to remember that reading wholesome stories actually makes me feel good. I've been reading way too much Am I the Devil.